Hi guys, this is Zach from Watches on You, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the IWC Spitfire Chronograph with the bronze case. So the full name of this watch actually is the Pilot's Watch Chronograph Spitfire. Now, this is, as you can tell by the name, I'm sure, part of IWC's Pilot's Watch collection, which can kind of be described as the little brother to the Big Pilots collection. So this watch is made, it's going to be at a much lower price point than the Big Pilot, and it's made as kind of their entry-level pilot's watch, and I'd say it might honestly be IWC's most popular watch, or just watch series, due to its more accessible price point and the very, I guess, nice pilot aviation-esque designs. So this is the Chronograph Spitfire, and this is these Spitfires are kind of a newer addition to the IWC collection. Now, I'm not really sure if these are going to end up taking over the old Pilot's watches, or if they're just going to be a new model alongside, but they do share many similarities to the standard Pilot's watches. Really, the only difference is going to be the handset. These have patinaed lume on the 3, 6, 9, and 12 markers, and then this one comes with a green dial. They also do it with a black dial as well. That's what the stainless steel model has. But let's go over this case first. So the case of this timepiece is 41 millimeters, which is, I think, a good size for a sporty chronograph. As you can see, it's entirely bead blasted. The thickness of it is 15.3 millimeters, so it is coming in quite thick. You'll see what that thickness looks like on the wrist, but 15.3 is definitely quite thick. It's definitely thicker than I would like to see. I mean, it's not all that uncommon for sport chronographs especially, but I don't think, but it is definitely thicker than I would like to see it. And I think with modern technology, I think manufacturers should definitely be able to make their movements thinner to fit thinner cases. But that's just my take. I mean, some people like thicker watches because of the heft it gives them. But this bronze case is very interesting. So as I said, it's totally bead blasted, and you can see that. And what's really interesting about bronze cases, if you don't know, is that they'll patina over time. So right now you can see this is kind of a bright gold, almost gold-like color. But over time, it's actually going to turn into a darker, more almost brownish, rich gold color. And I mean, just look up pictures of patinaed bronze watch or just bronze watches, and you'll see what I'm talking about if you look at the images of what the patina will turn into. And it gives the watch kind of a very cool vintage, vintage-esque kind of patina to look. That's I think, a very interesting feature to have on a timepiece, and many people love the kind of design of the watch, not the design and kind of look of bronze watches after they patina a bit. Now the case back on this is stainless steel, however, and that's because some people can have reactions to bronze touching their skin, so they put a stainless steel case back, so that is just going to be more comfortable for your wrist in case it reacts to bronze. So now let's go back to this dial, and let's get into the movement a bit. So the dial, as I said, is a green dial. It's kind of an army green dial, and it comes with a gold handset. So I really like the contrast of the gold and the green, along with the complementary gold and kind of the golden color of the case. And I think it looks very nice. I really do like the bronze tone overall and how it kind of flows through from the case to the patina on the dial to the handset. I think that's very nice. I think it's very good continuity in design. As you can see, though, it is a traditional chronograph, so being a pilot's chronograph, however, you do get the classic kind of pilot's watch dial, where the B-year style dial, where you have the triangle with the 2 dots at 12, and then you have very large Arabic numerals going around that make this dial extremely legible, which is definitely a huge factor when using a watch as a pilot's watch. So you also have these 3 dials, so it's kind of in the classic 7/750 setup. However, this does use an IWC in-house movement, where you have your day date at 3 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, you have the running seconds. At 9 o'clock, you have the hours, and then at 12 o'clock, you have the minutes. And actually, the 7/750 has, I believe, running seconds at 9 o'clock and hours at 6 o'clock. So that's also how you can tell this is not a 7/750 ETA-based movement. So the movement itself is the IWC caliber 69380. It's got 46 hours of power reserve, and it's going to be a very good chronograph movement. They've been rolling out in-house movements now into all their chronographs, and they've done a very good job, in my opinion. I mean, this watch doesn't have a clear case back, but the finishing on the movement is great, and it is finished under there. You just can't see it, sadly, because it doesn't have the clear case back, but that kind of keeps it with the tool watch kind of aspect of this timepiece not having a clear case back. But the movement is a very nice movement. It's a column wheel chronograph movement, so the action is fantastic. Definitely far above a movement like a 7750. I'll activate the chronograph now so you can see it run. So there you go. Great pusher. You have a nice satisfying click, but it also isn't too hard or anything. It doesn't feel, it feels nice and smooth, but hard click. Really good action, I would say. So now I'll stop it, and then now let me reset it. Boom, right back to 12 o'clock. So this is a great chronograph, and I'll actually do a wrist shot while I just describe it. So, oh, and before I forget, it does have a leather strap is what this one comes on. Very nice leather, extremely soft. It is going to be very comfortable on the wrist. So on the wrist, this coming in at a size of 41 millimeters is going to be, it's going to be about the size that I would like a sports watch to be. However, the thickness at 15.3 is going to be a bit thick, so I've been a 7¼ inch wrist, so take that for reference. And I think it fits the diameter fits my wrist quite well. I would say it does wear, I would say it wears more like almost a 43 due to the extra thickness and the fact that it has such thin bezels. Generally, I find that when watches have bigger dials, they generally tend to wear bigger. So that's something to take note of. I mean, I think this will fit most wrists, however. If you happen to have a very small wrist, that might be a downside to this watch, and I would recommend this with any watch just to try it on in person, but I'd say if you have a smaller wrist and you're considering this timepiece, just try it on in person, just to make sure that you know that it will fit your wrist nicely. But again, I think it's quite nice, and it doesn't actually have a huge amount of weight to it or anything due to the fact that it's on a leather strap, so that size isn't overbearing, I would say. And the strap is very comfortable. It does come on a nice pin buckle, however, no deployant clasp here. But I don't really, I'm fine with that personally. It actually is a bronze buckle, as you can see, which is very cool. Is I found a lot of bronze watches will actually have stainless steel buckles. But again, so this comes in at a price of $6,500, which I think is actually a rather good price. I mean, if you're comparing this to other in-house chronographs on the market, I mean, you could compare it to the Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. The Sapphire Sandwich is probably more comparable to this model, and that comes in, I believe, at a price of $6,350. So this coming in at only $150 more than that, I think, puts this in a great price. I would say the movement in this is a better movement than the Speedmaster. Obviously, it doesn't have the heritage, but then you add in the aspect of the bronze case, and IWC does have a strong pilot's watch heritage. I would say it's not as illustrious as the Speedmasters. I think that this is quite a good value when it comes down to it. So let me know what you guys think of this watch in the comments. I would like to mention that this was lent to us by JB Hudson Jewelers in Minneapolis, Minnesota for the purpose of this review, and I will leave a link in the description to their website. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks.